Hello and good evening. Welcome to Tier 1's race in... No, not Austria. Bloody hell. It's Imola today, yes. Well, racing live in Imola. Trying some new things to see how we get on. So let me know if they work. Let me know if they don't. If not, I can always remove them. I think that one might be a bit too high, so I'll drop him down a little bit. Where is he? Where is it? There we go. I've got to find it. There it is. I got it. Whee, drag him down a bit. Okay. So, and let's go back to the game. Yeah, so let me know what you think of them. See people coming out of the pits now. We're riding on board Tesco's at the minute. Who else is out? We've got Deadly out. We've got JSS and the Haas. We've got Player. I don't know who Player Red Bull is. This could be a problem. Player Aston Martin. I don't know who that is either. That's going to cause more problems. That's going to cause more problems than anything else, isn't it? Okay, so let me, if I take that away.
Dada, I need charger.
In my bedroom.
I am not going up there.
We're going to take that one away, wasn't it? So if we get rid of that one and try again.
Why didn't you eat?
Nothing's working now. There we go. So I bring that back up and I can get that. There we go. We'll leave it like that. So yeah, let me know how these ones work out. If they don't work out, obviously I can take them away for the race. That Player one's going to be race control. Let's see, yeah, got different race controls and everything. Tesco's obviously starting his first lap. We haven't got any telemetry up, have we? Not that one. That one. There we go. It's on the way now. DAD invalidated. Car 89 English retired from session. Tesco's quite a nice first sector there. Very nice first sector. Coming over the little hill. Coming around the last couple of ends. So that was the second sector actually. Had quite a good sector in. Coming across DRS. ERS battery going. DRS is now open. And across the line, and a 115.2. Very respectable 115.2 there. Let's see how the rest go on. We've got Deadly, who's invalidated. JSS in sector 1 at the moment. Does a 23.8 in the first sector. Merckx further down the line. 106 at the moment. Is he going to go faster than Ivy in a 114? And no, Merckx doesn't go fast, so he pulls himself into P2. Deadly going to be starting his lap now. As you can see, the gap ahead. Wow, that's I didn't know they did that. But anyway, but yeah, we have Deadly now. He's starting his flying lap. He has an Aston of Merckx ahead of him. I hope Merckx sees him and gets out of the way. He does, and Deadly carries on his merry way, putting in a purple first sector. The JSS comes across the line, pops into P4. Very good lap from JSS there. Rusted Bolt, I think, is the next across the line. No, it will be Deck is next across the line. Is he going to push Hazer down into P2? We shall soon find out, as I'm sure he's using all his battery now. What's left of it. DRS will open there and across the line. And a 113.9 puts himself nearly 3 tenths ahead of Hazer in P2 there. I think Deadly has invalidated his lap again. Warner coming out of the pit. Mr. P still yet to put on a time. That other one actually doesn't look quite right. I'll wait till Mr. P's done his flying. Yeah, he's flying lap here. Invalidated for JSS is invalidated, but I'm sure that he's on a in lap anyway, so I don't think that will dent him too much. as Mr. P now burning the rest of his battery comes across the line in a 1:14.5, 3/10 off Hazer in P2 at the moment, and that I think is your current. As Deadly's in the pit, still yet to set time. Warrener is on his outlap at the moment. See how he gets on, see how he's warming up his tyres. I don't think he'll have any issues with traffic or nope. I think the two cars in front of me will be coming into the pits now, and so hopefully no one comes out in the meantime, although the Red Bull is carrying on, and that Red Bull was Rusted Bolt, who maybe just set another little lap there. Is he going on another flying lap now? We're going to Warrener, comes across the line to start his. Oh, yeah, so he's starting his lap now, isn't he? Rusted Bolt. What's he going to do for the first sector? This will determine whether he's on another lap. That was a cool down lap. He is up in the first sector on his previous time, and I think that will put him roughly P5 if he carries on with this incredible speed he has right now. Definitely put him up to a couple of places if he carries on. Let's see what his second sector is like. His second sector is still nearly 3 temps up, so he's definitely looking to go to P5 with this current lap. Let's see how he gets on through the rest of it. Little lock up there. Does he invalidate? No, I still think he's kept the time, but that would have cost him at least a 10th at the end of that lap. Went a bit wide, but he does move up to P5. Can't move, can't get ahead of Ivy in P4, but still, I think if he hadn't locked up there, they would definitely have been on a good lap there. Warrener, he comes across line in P5 now, puts Rusted Bolt down 1 up to P5, 2 Mercedes 4th and 5th at the moment. Deadly still yet to set time as he invalidates most laps. I think he's on his flying lap now. Stick with him for this particular lap because with 9 minutes left he has still yet to set time, but he's invalidated the last 2 attempts, I think it is now. So he really needs to get this lap in. He's had a very good first sector, fastest of anyone so far. The yellow flag out in front of him, I think that might be just for cars getting out of the way. We'll still stick on board with Deadly there, just managing to stay within track limits there. Let's see how he gets on through here. Keeps it just within the lines, borderline moving over, but he's fastest in sector 2. Is this gonna be? And he's done it again. He's invalidated twice, third time now he's invalidated. I think it's always at the same area. He just can't keep it together. So who's that? Oh, so it's Kane. Rusted Bolt is who's that? That's coming into pits. Hazer is on a flying lap, I think. See how he gets on. Coming through sector 1 now. He has invalidated, so he'll be bailing out of that lap. Hey, Ivy coming to the end of a flying lap here. He does go faster, does improve his time, but stays in P4 as his teammate is in the pits. Merckx is on a flying lap. He has a Ferrari ahead of him. I think that'll be Tesco's. Let's have a quick look. It isn't Tesco's, so it is Hazer. Hazer gets nicely out of the way. Does Merckx keep it within the white lines? He does. Let's see how he gets on with these last few corners. Well, a few lockups into the last couple of corners here. As he does keep it together. Quite dangerous with the track limits there, but keeps it there, and he puts the time in at 1:14.5, improves on his time by half a second, brings his time up, brings his position up to P4. So he'll be very happy with that lap. As we have Ivy, I think just warming up for a lap. JSS is on a lap. Nope. Tesco's is Deadly's coming out of the pits once again. Good evening, Adam. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Very kind. We got Deadly, so he is on his out lap now. He does need to get a lap in. As we got warnings for. I think. I'm not sure if those things are any good because it's a bit difficult with. It's not catching everybody's names, so we're not getting it as much. But we'll talk about that later. As Deadly again, like I said, he's got less than just over 6 minutes, sorry, to at least put a lap in. So he's probably got this lap and maybe one more to come into the pits, get a new set of boots on, and try again. But he's leaving it very late. I mean, it's here. This chicane there is where he loses the lap, and obviously we've got the 3 engine penalties of Shawlin, Hayes, and English. So he's guaranteed to start 10th if it ends like this. But he'll want to be higher up the order. He'll want to be near deck, if not in front of deck, for the races. Now he starts his flying lap, 4th attempt. Stick with him. Go through as I think, and he's already invalidated. This lap. He's not having a good time here. So has he got enough fuel to do this as a cool down lap or an out lap again, and push again? He's kind of very close. He's not had the greatest of times through those 2 corners. Really, have really troubled him. I think Rusted Bolt is also validated, but Mr. P, where are we? We're on a lap with Mr. P. So we'll jump over to Mr. P. He's coming over the brow, coming down into the final 2 turns. Again, quite tricky. People do tend to lock up here. Mr. P looks like he keeps it very nicely within the lines, and he's clearly coming into the pit. So yeah, and, nicely slowed down there. But let's go back to Deadly. Is he going to go? He's coming in, so he has another fresh pair of boots, I guess, but not going to be yelled by his teammate coming into the pits there. Got Hazer on an out lap now. He's almost halfway through the 2nd sector. But JSS has possibly timed this quite well. It was able to get a bit of a slipstream there from the Ferrari ahead of him, but it could also hinder him. It would give him the dirty air, and it might hinder his lap as it goes on. But these are the only 2 about to start their final, I think, flying lap of qualifying tonight. As you can see, he's nearly half a second behind deck in P1. So is he going to be able to find 4 attempts, nearly half a second to challenge deck for P1? As he now starts his flying lap. JSS backed off a little bit just to give him a bit of breathing room, just in case he does tail too closely behind the Ferrari, which, like I said, will give him dirty air, causing problems into corners, which you don't want, especially on a qualifying lap. Want to be as fast as you humanly can on a qualifying lap, as Asia already looks like it's so now. So we head back over to JSS, who is on a flying lap. He is, and he's improved his first time in the 1st sector, so he's moving up ahead of Ivy. Yes, he's moving up ahead of Ivy, so at the minute things are looking good for the Haas driver. So Hazer must be going for another outlap, and we've got Ivy, who started his flying lap, last flying lap, but up in sector 1 as well. So although JSS is improving, Ivy is also improving by a 10th as well. So This may only be short-lived, although JSS does improve by 2 tenths in the second sector. Is this going to be allowed to put him above Ivy? I think it will be. Will he go any higher? Moves up to P3, half a second faster overall. Where does Ivy now stand? He's 2 tenths up in the second sector. Is he going to find another 3 tenths to jump over JSS or possibly even Hazer? Because that lap from JSS is really putting in contention for P3 at the moment. Ivy now, battery will be deployed. DRS will open now. Across the line. He jumps up to P4. Only found, well, I say only found 4 tenths, but it's still a massive improvement. Massive gain there. But Hazer is now on a flying lap. Is this going to be the lap that takes pole position away from Deck? Or is Deadly going to manage to put his lap together and knock off Deck from pole position? Because Deck has come up. He is on an out lap. So he will get round, I think. Where is he? He's in front of Deadly at the moment. Deadly fastest in sector 2. Is Deck going to move out of the way? Sure, hope so, because he's coming into a situation here, but I don't think Deadly will catch it. Although he might catch a bit of dirty air from the Alpine in front. Deadly has held it together all lap long, and it's still together. He will now come across the line. What position will he be in? He'll be in P1 for the moment. 1 tenth ahead of Hazer, who has moved up to P2. Deck is now down to P3. Deck has to find 2 tenths to regain pole position here. What a fantastic lap by Deadly. He finally managed to hook it all together. Hazer also managed to improve his time up to P2, but it all comes down to Deck, who is faster in sector 1 by a tenth, and that I don't think will give him enough for P1 here. He needs to improve by another half a tenth. Deadly finally gets a lap in. Yeah, he had 4. That was his 5th attempt, I believe Deadly had for his only flying lap of the evening. But as we see Deck now, he was faster in sector 2 as well. Is he going to be fast enough to regain pole position? Comes into the final 2 corners here, keeps it nicely within the lines. How much battery has he got left? What is he going to come across the line at? 11, 12, 13, 14. No, he doesn't improve. He moves up to P3. Hazer will take P2. I think Deadly has managed to put a lap in finally, and the 1 lap that he gets in pops him into P1. Not too far away from Hazer. I think 6. 1. Yeah, there you go. Time's on screen. That's how close he is to Deadly. Deck is also less than a tenth behind. Coming to P4 with the Alpine of Mr. P, JSS P5, Ivy P6, Merckx P7, Rusted Bolt P8, Warrener P9, and Tesco's P10. And Christopher Shawlin, Hayes, and English all serving engine penalties this evening. But your pole sitter, with his 5th attempt at a flying lap, manages to keep it within the white lines and will be your pole sitter for this evening. I'm pretty sure Hayes is not. Yeah, he's definitely finished. So there you go. That is your qualifying results. Your pole position for the race, not tomorrow because it's now. Pole position will be the Red Bull driver of AKZ Deadly. Took him long enough to get there, but he definitely got there in the end. And so he will be your pole sitter, followed by Hazer in the Ferrari, and Deck Deck in P3 in the Alpine. And there you have the starting grid for this evening's race. As always, we will be having a 5-minute break, so need to get drinks, toilet breaks, whatever you need. Now would be the time to do that, and we shall see you at What time shall we see you? Let's see. We'll go at 20:28. 2 minutes before past is when we'll go. So please do come back and join us then. Oh, I'm back just in time. Let's try and just close that because it wasn't working properly, and need to be able to see everything. Drivers can start readying up now, I believe. Sorry, I'm just also trying to eat something. And now my dog's trying to take it. Is everybody readying up? Who's singing? Get her on the mic. That's my daughter, man.
Eh?
They can hear you singing.
I'm not.
They said you should be on the mic.
No.
Anybody know if anybody's readying up yet? I've got a bedtime. Nope. I can hear it beeping. Must mean it's... Not you, shut up. That must mean it's time for the drivers to ready up. They must have all readied up. Here we are. Oh wow. Put it up straight away. Wow, I'm shocked. Deadly pulls off the line, manages to get ahead of the Ferrari. Mr. Deck has an awesome start. He's right behind Deadly. Mr. P also up in front of Deck. He lets Deck through. Terrible start for Hazer, down into P4. Deadly holds on to P1, manages to hold off the insane start that Deck got there. Mr. P up into P3, Hazer down to P4, Merckx in P5. Got a mixture of tyres here this evening. Let's have a quick look at what everybody's tyre is. There we go. We got 4 on softs and the rest on mediums. Deadly is the first of the soft drivers this evening. It's raining. Tier 1 comes by. Yeah, fair enough. It's what do you mean it's raining? Was there contact there? But you're distracting me. It's not raining. What kind of madness are you talking about? There's no rain there at all. Unless you mean there's going to be rain later on. Anyway, back to the race. Deadly pulled out nearly half a second. JSS loses a place to the Mercedes of Ivy there. He'll be desperate to catch up to Merckx. Make sure he stays within the 1 second to grab the DRS on the next. It was raining. No, it wasn't. Stop chatting rubbish. As Warner making the other move on the other Haas driver there. Both the Mercedes moving up 1 place each. Next on Warner's list is Christopher Schulin. Schulin not as fast as maybe expected it to be. As JSS, as obviously something's gone wrong here. He's dropped right down the order. Does he have any front wing damage? Was there any contact? Let's have a quick look. He seems to have his front wing, but did everybody else? Deck is now in your lead. He's obviously got past Deadly there. Deadly might have made a mistake, or just the raw speed that is the Alpine driver of Deck. Zooming off. Now over a second ahead of Deadly. Not sure Deadly can do anything about this now because he's on soft tyres, and although they are the faster at the moment, he is losing time to Deck already. Mr. P in hot pursuit of Deadly in front. Mr. P does have DRS. He goes round the outside back onto the racing line there. Nothing Deadly could do about it. Hayes also getting past the Red Bull driver of Deadly. Have the soft tyres already just gone from this race because he has dropped all the way down. We have a yellow flag. We've got JSS in the Haas. Obviously some contact there with someone going in. It doesn't look like he's got any damage, so that looks okay for him, but he is 9 seconds off the Racing Bull of Hayes in front, and it's going to be difficult to close that down because he will have DRS to maintain the gap. Tesco's in P11 at the moment. Rusted Bolt English in P9, Rusted Bolt P10, sorry, English in P9 at the moment. Just checking to see if anybody has any front wing damage. Warner in P8. Christopher Schulin in the other Haas in P7. I think this, I'm trying to see where the battles are going to be. Hazer will be looking to get past Mr. P, as Mr. P will probably be looking to hold up Hazer as long as he can to give his teammate a bit of an advantage. when it comes to pitting. But I'm not sure Mr. P can do anything about this one. As side by side they go, and I think I have seen a little drop of rain there. I'm pretty sure I did. It has started to rain. I've got all excited. Mr. P and Hazer. And there's now contact. It was gonna happen. Hazer drops down the order. Mr. P up and stays in P2. That'll be looked at by the stewards, I'm sure. But it looked clean racing to me. I think that might have been a racing incident. I don't think either of them wanted to give. And with that all happening, it has given Deck an extra second gap in the lead now. And obviously, if it is starting to rain, that extra second now could give them the benefit of a double stack. But how much is it raining, and when is the time for the switch over, if it is at all necessary? Merckx up into P3 now. He has oh my god, I've had a word freeze. He has gained the most from all the carnage, that is happening as Deadly comes into the pits. Is he just going to go straight for the intermediate tyres here? It looked green. They look green. Well, he's going for the inters. He's going to make the call early. But is it wet enough for the inters now? I don't think it is. I mean, I know it can rain, and if it does rain in Imola, it can get it can be a downpour as quick as you like. But to me, that doesn't look like it's raining enough. We'll have a look at how quickly he gets up to the back of JSS in the Haas ahead of him. He is 8 seconds, just under 9 seconds behind JSS. So we have to keep an eye on that. We look like JSS was running a little wide there. Let's see what gaps we've got. We've got Warner chasing English, who's chasing Ivy, who's right on the tail of Shawlin. But Ivy looked like he was losing the back end a little bit. The sun is still out apparently. I don't know. I'm not seeing sun on my view, but it looked like Ivy's getting a little bit out of shape with the tyres there. Let's have a look how he gets on into this braking zone here, as Shawlin's tyres, although would be going off, they will stay warmer for longer, so he will get a little bit extra more grip than the other Mercedes behind him. They all still continue on their merry way. DRS is still enabled. Deadly has closed up as Ivy, gets past Christopher Shawlin. Not sure Shawlin even really put up much of a fight there, because with the assistance of DRS, there's not a lot, and obviously battery, but you don't want to burn too much battery because you do also need it through not most of it, but you don't gain a lot of it back, I think. As Deadly already passed JSS, who's coming into pits for inters. Another one coming in for inters, as Woody says, it's not wet enough for inters, but Deadly didn't really have much to lose in that sense, because obviously he's down the order and his softs weren't going to last too much longer, so risk it for a biscuit. But he's now 20 seconds behind Hazer in the other Ferrari. Let's have a look. We've got Hazer very close behind Rusty Bolt, but we have yellow flags out with Hayes. He has spun. Wonder if there's contact there. I'm sorry to miss that. Are people finding it a little bit tricky? Is Deck? No, he's not going to come into the pits. Is Mr. P coming into the pits? Mr. P comes into the pits. The Aston of Merckx carries on his merry way. Ivy into the pits. Christopher Shawlin is staying out. English is staying out. Warner staying out. Tesco's staying out. Rusty Bolt coming in. So we've got Mr. P in. Ivy in for inters. Rusty Bolt and Hazer both in for inters. And Hayes into inters as well. Deadly, where is he going to come with this gaggle of cars now? Has he timed this to a T? What is going on with the camera there? Deadly moves up to P8. So the only car ahead of him that pitted onto the inter tyres is Mr. P. So he has caught up behind Mr. P. He's only 2 seconds behind him. That will hopefully get smaller. Hazer and Rusty Bolt trading places there. Is Deck going to come in this time around? His teammate has already come in for the pits. Is it wet enough yet, Woody, for you? How would you feel? What would you do, Woody? Would you be in the pits now? As Deck does come into the pits now, he has a 5-second lead over Merckx. Does he slow his car down enough? He does. Merckx also comes into the pits. English, I'm sure, will be in the pits. English carries on. He thinks it's still dry enough for him to carry on. English takes over the lead of the race as Warner picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Christopher Shawlin also carrying on. Looked like he was getting a bit out of shape. I'm going to be honest with you there. Mr. P, now as Tesco's coming out of the pits, Deck is coming out of the pits. He is in P3. Merckx comes out the pits. Is Mr. P going to get him? Mr. P does get back in front of Merckx. So I think we will be as we were, except with this now that Deadly is back up. It is almost sliding, drifting round the corners here now. He's really giving it everything to try and catch up to the back of the Aston Martin. Ivy in P7, bit of a gap between him and Deadly, bit of a gap between himself and Warner behind. Warner again, he has got Tesco's for company, but I haven't seen DRS being disabled yet. Let's see how the front runners are getting on here, because these two are still on dries. Deck was, I think, I'm sure it said 15 seconds behind, so it's definitely into time. As these two obviously tried to push it for another lap, but I think it was the wrong idea as they both come into the pits now. As English comes into the pits with a possible damaged front wing there. Not sure if he damaged the front wing or not, but was an entrance. As Deck now regains the lead of the race, and I'm pretty sure Mr. P, yes, Mr. P, Merckx, and Deadly will be your top four for the time being. But Deadly is on the older intertires, and he had one lap where it wasn't really one and a half laps where it wasn't really wet enough for the intertires, so they would have degraded a little bit quicker than the others in front of him. And Mr. P, obviously, he's only on 2-lap old tyres to the rest of them, but everybody has stopped for their pit stops this evening so far. Penalties, we have only Warner with the 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Position changes. Deadly is the one down 3 from P1. Deck up to P1, up from P3. Merckx up 5 places into P2 at the minute. Started 7th. Mr. P up 1 from 4th. Deadly, I said, down 3 from 1st. Ivy is up 1. Warren up 3. Hazer down 5. Tesco's up 2. English up 4. Who has Rusted Bolt close for company as Mr. P picks up a time penalty for track limits. Shawlin has stayed in the same position he started in. Hayes has also remained in the same position. JSS, the biggest loser, down 8 places at the moment, but that was with something that could possibly be looked at the end of the race there. But Deck now has a 6.5 second lead as English and Tesco's trading places. Do we still have DRS? Has that still been enabled? I haven't seen a flag for DRS to be disabled yet. Tesco's is again falling down the order again, so something has happened there. Lost the back end, or was there contact? Trying to find everybody's race. JSS picks up a time penalty as well for possible track limits there. There's a nip up to Hazer, who's going for a move up the inside of Warner. Great racing from the pair of them, and I think Warner has just given that place over to him at the end. Eventually, I don't think he wanted to battle him down into that harsh turn, right turn. It breaks down and back up again, so he really got to swing the car in, but Hazer saw an opportunity and went for it. He's clearly the more comfortable out of those drivers on the inter tyres at the moment. Deadly is now up behind Mr. P, as DRS has still been enabled. It hasn't been disabled yet. That is English. English past Warner, who's had a moment of possibly, or just, again, there's been contact. I'm trying to keep on top of everything. Mr. P falls behind Deadly. I'm not sure Mr. P could do anything about that one again, because DRS is still enabled, as Hayes and Shulin trade places here. Warner behind the Haas driver of Shulin, and Tesco's 3 seconds down, and then a 9-second gap between himself and JSS. Shulin following the Visa RB there very closely, as Warner is also following closely behind him as well. Deadly, he'll want to get past the Aston of Merck there to have any sort of chance of closing down deck. In the DRS is disabled now, so that will obviously help Merckx in his defense of P2 at the moment. How long can these inter tyres go for? So they'd have to pit again before the end of the race, no? Let me know. I'm not sure about that one. Merckx going on the wider line there, making sure Deadly doesn't sort of follow him, but with lack of DRS now, I think as long as Merckx saves up enough battery and gets a decent exit out of the final corner, I'm fairly sure he'll be able to hold up. But is he looking for a dry line, wet line there? Because going really off the racing line there. Yeah, they seem to be coming off the racing line to try and find some water by the looks of things. Snip down to this little battle down here. And obviously with DRS disabled now, there's going to be more. It's going to be more battery moves or moves catching the opponent out in front just by surprise, as Shulin is really closing up behind the Visa RB here. Red Bull ahead looked like he was having a little wobble going into the corner. Is this going to be a lap that Shulin gets past Hayes? Track is stuck in that crossover stage for ages. I certainly think, well, I mean, it's unfortunate the game does this, but you're never quite sure really how bad it is. But we'll stay with Shulin to see if he can do anything from the RB in front. Does look like he got a better exit there on the car in front, but again, with the aid of the ERS on the Visa RB there, manages to stay ahead of the Haas driver, as Deadly now up behind Merckx. Merckx is a further 9 seconds. Deck has pulled out this lead. EA Games challenge everything. Yep, that is that is really, I like that. They beautiful, mwah, lovely. But Deadly is wanting to get past Merckx. Yeah, I think he's a lot closer this time around. Is Merckx going to put up much of a fight to hold this position? How much battery has he got though? Again, it all comes down to who has the better exit and who has more battery. Really, as Deadly looked like he got a little bit out of shape coming out of the second to last corner there, but he follows Merckx over the wide line that Merckx keeps taking to hopefully, well, possibly cool his tyres down. Is Deadly going to make a move into the corner? I don't think he's close enough. He isn't close enough, as Hazer is right up behind the Mercedes of Ivy in front of him. Who is going to move first? Are we going to see a move into the corner? Hazer goes to the outside. Great defensive drive there from Ivy. Holds off a little bit of contact there, and Ivy holds on to P5. Great racing from the pair of them there. Little contact towards the end, but I think I've just a little bit of wheel bangs. But there's Warner almost got track limits there, as he wants to keep. As Ivy and Hazer are still battling here. Hazer obviously went for a move to try and catch Ivy out. Sorry, didn't quite work out, and they are still in the same position. Just stay on board with these two because they seem to be trying to fight it out more than the others. What's that? Mercs with that pad traction. I'm not saying anything. Ivy now is really under pressure here because he has not only Hazer very close behind him, but any mistake that these two make, English will pounce and say thank you very much and possibly claim two places in one. So let's see what happens here. We'll stay on board with Hazer. A little bit sideways there for English coming out of the final corner there. Is Hazer going to be able to get anything done this time around? Deadly looking to do something on Mercs. Again, not quite close enough. I don't think Hazer's close enough here. What about English? Is English going to throw anything down the inside? No one throws caution to the wind. Everybody throws caution to the wind. And they all follow suit. Warner not able to close up enough to challenge Christopher Shaw in there. Hazer is still, I don't know whether to go back to this one, see what happens here. Is Deadly waiting for the moment? Remember, his tyres are, I think, 4 laps older than Mercs. And, younger, sorry, than Mercs. And obviously, Deadly did have possibly 2 laps where it wasn't quite wet enough. So how will his tyres be doing? Is he going to be struggling? I mean, they've only done tyre. He's done 10 laps and Merckx has done 7 laps. But just don't know how worn out his tyres got through that phase that he had in the not quite sure wet, not quite sure dry stage. But I think Merckx has enough battery to fend off Deadly into turn 1. Don't see Deadly doing anything there. Is Hazer going to make a move, or is English going to make a move on Hazer here? Because English is a lot closer to Hazer. He stepped out a little bit just to, I think, maybe cool his tyres a bit. There's banging! There's a contact and there's damage to English's front wing there. He's lost his end plate. Was Hazer cautious on the brakes, or did Ivy brake and cause the chain reaction of braking there? But Ivy is Hazer going to make a move into turn? He does. He has a look at it. Is there enough room? Was there room? Not sure there was, as these two are now stuck together. This is opened up for English, who's going around the outside of Hazer. Who's going to have the line here? English does have the wing damage, and Hazer holds on to P6. And while this is happening, Ivy is managing to pull away. English and Hazer still going at it. Ivy is being pulled back in. JSS and Tesco's trade positions. This is great racing. It's a little on the contacty side, but I don't know what happened with the front ring of English and Hazer. I think Hazer braked and it caught people out by surprise. As Deadly pits for a new set of inters, I would assume. What's going to happen here? Hazer comes into the pits. English carries on. Ivy carries on. Is Deadly coming in for a fresh pair of... Where is Deadly? There he is. He has put on a fresh pair of inters. So that will give Mr. P and Merckx a respite for time being. English picks up a time penalty. He's currently in 5th. I think possible wing damage could be causing that. But he's still right behind Ivy. Although he has wing damage, he's still managing to keep himself very close to Ivy in the Mercedes ahead of him. But he has got a 3-second penalty. So is he going to be able to get past him and then pull out a 3 seconds to keep that place, as he's apparently losing the back end and then self-righted. But we shall ignore that. English is going. I thought he was going to make a move into the chicane there. But Rusty Bolt has benefited from this because while everybody's been battling ahead, he's been slowly catching up. And he is now right on the gearbox of English. English is obviously, he's more comfortable in this environment, I think. And he's really hunting down Ivy here. Ivy is not trying to get on the power there. English comes into the pits. Did he close down enough? Did he slow down enough? I think he did. Mr. P is still ahead. Deck still out on his old inters now. Well, I say old, probably 10 lap old now. He's 13 seconds ahead of Merckx, who has a 2.5 gap to Mr. P. As everybody seems to be coming into the pits here. Tesco's is not coming into the pits. He carries on. Deadly now in P6 after his second pit stop of this evening's race. Chasing down Christopher Shawlin in the Haas. Ivy has a bit of a breathing area now between himself and well, everybody around him. Hazer was the closest runner to him. English, I think, has changed his front wing. So he has had to put on a new front wing, so that will hamper his chances of getting up into the top 5 again. But will everybody, what's the gap to the leader? I'm not telling you. Well, it says gap to the leader. It says, unless you want it for someone else. I'll do it for someone else. Where are we? No, wrong one. Leader, there you go. The gap to the leader, English, is apparently a minute behind Deck. And, well, if that's anything to go by, Warren, wow. Either Deck is really good in the wet, but that's he still has to come into the pits then, surely. As Deadly gets past Christopher Shawlin, he distracted me. We've missed an overtake again. I don't know what to do with you, Woody. I just don't know. But yeah, well, Deadly on his merry way. Let's see where English is. English is P11 at the minute. He is chasing down the Visa RB of Hayes into turn 1. They go clean as a whistle, and English up into P10 now. So he'll be on the hunt to get to Rusted Bolt, who has lost a bit of time to Hazer in front, I think. But it was Ivy who is still on the oldest tyres at the moment. Deck has pitted 4 new tyres. Merckx carrying on his old inters, as they like. Just like that. Ivy coming into the pits. Deadly doesn't need to come into the pits, so he will jump Ivy. Mr. P is coming out of the pits now. I think Deadly will get past him. He does. Deadly moves up into P3 at the moment, but I think that will be P2 by the time Merckx, if he does, come into the pit again. But I don't know if Merckx's tyres will go the full distance towards the end of the race. It's going to ask a lot of them. As Ivy now comes into the pits, coming out of the pits. And Hazer has got past him. Tesco's has passed him. Bolt is past him. English gets past Ivy, even with coming in and changing his front wing. So Ivy must have had a very bad in-lap for allow that much time to cross over. He's now a second behind Ivy, behind English, and he was in front of him by, well, about 5 tenths in front of him. So English, with putting a new front wing on, has annihilated the first couple of outlaps he's had with them, and he's gained time on Ivy and increasing it at the moment. He has to increase it by a further 3 seconds to stay in front of him. As Merckx now does come into the pits, he's going back out on into tyres. I don't think that's going to change for the rest of this race, as Deadly does now move up into P2. He had an unfortunate start, dropped down the order, then he came in, he started on soft, he came in earlier onto the into tyres when it wasn't quite ready to be into weather, but it's making him work now. As English now up into P8 as Tesco's picks up a 10-second for speeding into the pit lane. We're just right on board as Shorlin well out of shape coming around the corner there as Merckx looking to pounce. Shorlin holding the inside line. Who's got the better traction coming out of the corner? Merckx, I think, will have better traction. He does, and moves back up into P3. Little error there from Shorlin cost him that position, but he is on older tyres as well. He will have to come back, and Mr. P is sliding round the corner trying to find a way past the Haas driver in front of him now. Is he going to make a move into the chicane? Don't think he will. Manages to just slot in behind him, and he waits for possibly the straight now, because Shorlin has dropped nearly a second behind Merckx now. Although he won't have DRS, the slipstream will be less. That's crazy. The new tyres are 2 seconds faster. Yeah, I thought that. But as Shorlin carries on the older, I'm sure he has older tyres. Let's have a quick. Yeah, he has 13 lap old tyres. Mr. P is going to go round the outside, which will become the inside, but Shorlin looks like he was putting up a bit of a fight. May Mr. P work a little bit for it. I don't need to leave tyres on there, do I? No, I don't. And we need the gap. There we go. Sorry. But yeah, it seemed to, if he came in, and Deadly, I think, chose the right time to come in, because he has gained masses in places there, as English gets past Rusty Bolt up into P7, looking to close down Hazer now. He will, as Rusty Bolt comes back at him. No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. It does look to me like English's car is lagging a little bit. I'm not quite sure if that's just me or if it's happening for Rusty Bolt as well. But this one is your closest battle right now, as Deadly has got a 9-second gap to close in 10 laps. Mr. P was 2.8 behind Merckx and came out just in front of him. Yeah. So we have yellow flags. We have yellow flags. Where do we have yellow flags? Not sure anybody was. I'm not sure why the yellow flags came out there. English has now pulled away from Rusty Bolt, so he is now on the hunt for the Ferrari in P6. He has a 5-second gap to the Ferrari. Is he going to be able to do anything about it? As Deadly, is Deadly going to be able to close down 10 seconds in 10 laps? I'm sure it was 9 seconds in 10 laps. So I think Deck is actually pulling away from Deadly. I'm not sure there's anything Deadly can do. No, he seems to be dropping off. So I think he's going to hold on to P. He's going to hold out for P2. I think is his best option at the moment. Merckx having a good race for the Aston Martin there, up into P3. He's just sort of benefited on other people's errors. He's made a few moves himself, but other people have had fights with other people, allowed him to close up, and he's just benefited from the unfortunate errors or collisions between other drivers. Mr. P did have a good start to the race. He's still having a very good race up in P4. I believe he has gained time. Let's have a quick look at the time. No, Mr. P has actually stayed in P4. So at the moment, the biggest mover is English and Christopher Shorlin, both up 6 places. And English 5 seconds now behind him and Hazer. He's closed down a second. So looking to possibly get a battle between him and Hazer in about 4 or 5 laps time. So around about lap 28, 29, I think these two will come together. Deadly Deck picks up a 3-second warning for multiple track limits. So theoretically, Deadly is now only 7 seconds behind. Maybe that'll give the energy boost that Deadly needed to try, or needs to try and close down the Alpine of Deck in front of him. But I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to get those 3 seconds. Ivy picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits as well. I think the rain is getting heavier as we speak. Will we have a crossover through the wets? I don't think so. I think there's still that relative dry-ish, well, I say dry-ish line. You can see roughly where the car in front of you has been. So looking to possibly remain on the inter tyres here. Merckx, who we got? Anybody? Ivy and Hayes are the closest on track at the minute for any particular battle. English now 5.5 seconds behind Hazer. He is closing down. Maybe that 30, I'd say now, for any particular challenge English might give on Hazer. Rusty Bolt has dropped off about 2 seconds. He's off about maybe a second a lap to the Williams driver there. So I think conditions are getting a little bit more treacherous. Some drivers not quite sure. I'm sure all the drivers know how to drive in the rain, but not quite sure of each line now, because obviously with the rain getting heavier, the line varies. The wetter it gets, people go and find grip. Doesn't always come to you. But I think this might be the finishing order here. Is most people have settled down now. Deck is just sort of keeping Deadly at the 10-second mark. Not sure Deadly can do anything about it, because Deck will have the fresher tyres now with the last sort of 7 laps to go. Merckx, as long as he keeps it within the white lines, I don't really see him losing a position to Mr. P. And then Mr. P also, I don't think will not only be able to, if he passes him, I'm not sure he'll be able to get the 3-second gap he needs to keep hold of P3. So he'll, I think, be looking to just keep Shawlin 6 seconds behind him to make sure the 3 seconds penalty that he has doesn't affect his P4 position. Shawlin, again, having a stellar race there, P5. Hazer in the Ferrari is trying to close him down, so I don't think Hazer's given up on P5 just yet. But he's going to be using a lot of battery down that straight. But he does close in within a second again, but DRS doesn't come into effect here. He's closing down a lot through the first couple of corners of this lap here. He's really pushing it to try and get to the back of that Haas driver there. But I think Shawlin, he still hasn't pitted, has he? No, he hasn't. He's still on 17 lap old tyres. So he obviously, Hazer is on the fresh tyres. He is going to have more grip. He will close down quicker. Will this come to be more of a problem now? Because obviously English hasn't really closed down on Hazer. But is he going to be able to close down on Christopher Shawlin once and when, if and when, Hazer does get past him? Because Hazer does have a lot more grip than the Haas driver here. So he will be wanting to get past as quick as he can. And to not harm his tyres too much, as I think we could be looking to make a move into the final corners here. He does go to the inside. There's a little wheel contact there, a little banging, and Hazer puts his Ferrari up into P5. There was a little contact there between the two Ferrari-powered teams, but the Ferrari comes out on top and the Haas driver moves down to P6. So how quickly can English close down on Christopher Shawlin now? Got just over 5 laps to go. Is he going to be able to close down the Haas and get past him? Or will Rusted Bolt get past English now? As English loses the back end, loses the position to Rusted Bolt. Rusted Bolt says thank you very much. Moves up to P7. So is now Rusted Bolt going to be able to close down Christopher Shawlin. 7 seconds is the gap. Not sure he will, but English all out of shape coming around those corners there. Loses the back end and loses the position as well. So he drops down to P8. Hayes in P9. Ivy right behind Hayes now. Is Ivy going to make a move into possibly the last corner, second to last corner, like the Ferrari of Hayes did? Or will he just follow him down the pit straight and just say thank you very much into turn one? Also depends on how much battery the car in front does have and what defense they will put up. We got, so Ivy, Rusted Bolt still 5 seconds behind Christopher Shawlin at the moment. So he has closed down. Is he going to be able to close down enough? 4 laps to go. English comes into the pits now. So I think his tyres must have gone. Doesn't seem to be anybody else coming into the pit. Is he coming in for new tyres only? Yeah, it is new tyres. He's going on for full wets. He's switched on to full wets. Has the rain started coming down that much that it's necessary for full wets? We will find out his speed now as he comes out on the pits. Will come out behind Warner. So this will be the test. How quickly will he catch up to Warner, and how quickly will he be able to pass him if he can actually catch him up? Because full wets in these conditions I think might be a bit of an exaggeration for the Williams driver. He's not at all comfortable in these conditions, I don't think. Still 1 second gap. He's not really lost much. He's not gained anything yet. Really swinging the car into the corner. I think it's the wrong tyres. I do think it's the wrong tyres. I think Warner's going to be able to hold him off for the rest of this race. Although, yeah, I don't think it's full wets. Personally, Ivy is still behind Hayes, coming into the final few corners now. So is he going to get is he going to be able to sort his exit out, get a decent exit, and pass the RB driver down the pit straight? Should have put softs on. Now, yeah, I don't think he's going to be getting anywhere fast. He is closing down a little bit, but I don't know if as Ivy goes to the outside, Hayes holds the inside line there. Good defence there, good driving from both drivers. Hayes holds on to P8 for the time being as Ivy is all over the back. Is he going to go for a move into turn 3? Doesn't move. There's a bit of contact there. I think Ivy has more confidence in the braking zone than the RB driver in front of him. Is Ivy going to be able to pounce on that knowledge now? He knows he's got a little bit more confidence into the final corners, or into the corners, so where will he make that work for him? As English picks up a 3-second penalty already with the wet tyres on. It's not looking like he made the right decision there. Ivy picks up a 3-second penalty as well. Let's have a quick look at the old penalty list. Tesco's on 13, English on 12, JSS on 3, Ivy 6, and Mr. P and Deck also on 3 penalties each. Let's have a look. We've got Ivy not really able to do anything about the RB in front of him. The RB driver possibly does have the better of him. There is a line forming, but I don't think it's anywhere near dry enough or wet enough for wet tyres, and it's not dry enough for dry tyres, to be honest with you. I think inter tyres is the best option. Ivy's still very close behind him. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do anything on him into the next couple of corners. Just has to follow closely and then just get the better exit. That's all he needs here. Almost pushing the car around, the RB around. RB has a little slide, trying to put the power down. There is a dry line kind of forming there. I'm not sure it's going to make any difference for the rest of the race. As Deck starting his second to last lap. Quite a comfortable victory this might be for him. He's pretty much led the way since the rain came well, since he got past Deadly, he hasn't really looked to be losing the top spot this afternoon or this evening. Deadly had a good start, then had a few bad laps, managed to pull the car back up into P2. Merckx, again, great start from him, kept the nose out of trouble, stayed out of trouble himself. English picks up another penalty for getting track limits. He is closing down on Warner, but I just think it was the wrong tyres. I don't think he should have done that. And he's obviously paid the price. Is he going to do anything now? He's starting his second to last lap now as Deck coming round the corner, final corner now to start his final lap of the race, in which he has pretty much controlled once he got out in front. Hasn't really looked back at anybody really. He had about a 2-second gap when the rain came and stayed out a few laps longer, came in and then just stayed in pole position at P1 for the race. I don't really see him losing that. English still behind Tesco's, not able to do it. Hayes picks up a penalty for limits as well. That will help Ivy, who is on... No, it won't help Ivy at all. But win it back up to Deck for his last lap of the race. We haven't really seen much of Deck this evening because he has been quite that far ahead. He's had, like I said, a very comfortable race for him. Not sure anybody could have challenged him really once the rain came, as he seemed to be the most confident driver in the wet. As Ivy is looking to get past there, but I don't think he's going to be doing it. Deck rounds the final corner, comes out, come down the pit straight, fist in the air. Happy days for the Alpine driver. Finishes in P1. Deadly coming round the final corner now will finish in P2 if he does manage to keep it together while sliding across the line. He'll finish in P2. Merckx coming in for the holding on for the P3 there for the Aston Martin there. Great race from him. Mr. P will come across the line in P4. Sure, he'll hold on to P4. I know Hazer does jump him into P4, so Mr. P down one place. Christopher Shawlin will come across the line in P6. Yes, he only has a 3-second penalty. Mr. P only had a 3-second penalty. Yeah, so he will drop down. Like I say, he dropped down behind Hazer. Hazer managed to close the door just enough as Hayes holds off the battle from Ivy for P8, Ivy P9, JSS comes across in P10. Warner will come across the line in P11, and English sliding around just behind him, coming across the line in P12, and Tesco's P13. Yeah, it was a fairly entertaining race from the start. Once the rain came and it kind of lost its charm. It was fairly quiet in once the rain came. Really, it wasn't the greatest race for entertainment, but it was the greatest race for that man in the Alpine. P1 started P4, started P3, sorry, takes the top spot of the podium. He will be very happy with that. Deadly manages to recover to P2, and the Aston of Merckx in P3. Race winner Deck, fastest lap also Deck. Driver of the day was Deadly, and most overtakes was Christopher Shawlin. And we'll just have a quick look at the race results here. Let me just get all the incidents. Don't need that one. Pit stops. Yeah, so there you have it. Deck is your T1 race winner this evening in a dry to wet race in Imola. Deadly recovered to P2 and Merckx with a final spot of the podium in P3 for the Aston. It has been a good race. It had entertainment. There was positional change. There was position changes throughout the race. So yeah, it's been a good race. Tomorrow night we have Tier 2 race in Circuit of the Americas. So do join us tomorrow for that race. We have been UFRL. We have been Tier 1. We have been in Imola. And that is it for this evening. Do join us again tomorrow for Tier 2 race in Circuit of the Americas. And until then, have a good evening.